IMG is a post-production company. We basically look after the technical side of the EFL production. From that perspective, we look after all of the feeds coming into the building and all the feeds going out to the clients and the broadcasters. The EFL operation is basically the second, third and fourth tier of English football. We're connected into all of those stadiums. We then take from League 2 2 single feeds, from League 1 4 single feeds, and from the Championship we take 6 feeds. So that entire operation is 1,800 games approximately, and our job is to necessarily get that out into a polished program for broadcasters and the clients themselves.
Sort of engineering or technical, the decision was made to use SimplyLive. The sort of scale and concurrency of the games means it's a far more financially savvy way of doing it, to produce that amount of games concurrently, for us to put a stadium installation in, to bring the cameras back remotely, individual cameras brought back into the facility here at Stockley Park, and then spread around this big production facility that you see with something in the region of 38 SimplyLives. When we looked at how to do gallery operations before, we would have needed a separate vision mixer, a separate sound desk, a separate replay, a separate graphics. Now we've necessarily shrunk that down into a real estate is probably half the size, maybe a third of the size. And we've done that at the same time of not making it aware that the fan at the home can tell the difference. So from an efficiency point of view, there's multiple areas you can necessarily look at that from. From a sustainability point of view, I challenge anybody to find a production that does as much sustainable work that we do in delivering the same level of quality. I would say that if I was to take a similar operation and do it in a traditional way, I probably would need 4 times or 5 times the rack space that we've associated with the EFL operation as we speak. Our directors that have come from that traditional background in OBs with, much more or many more cameras, up to 10 to 20 cameras, where those camera operators have the traditional job, they're really leaning into that new kind of way of thinking.
We started with SimplyLive as a replay and then a replay direct and setup. So I would build the closers, I would build highlights and do replays live within the match. And to be able to do all of that in a system that was straight in front of you instead of going into menus and having to deal with that, we found it was really easy to bring new people in to teach them as well, because it was quite user friendly.
Having things like the graphics all there and the replay, even for a single camera, you've got a specific place where you're looking for it, and it all kind of flows. And I think that builds, especially when you're starting with just on the ground level with a single camera and moving up, that process actually felt very intuitive, despite the fact that it can feel conceptually quite overwhelming to just be, right, this is just me.
You're learning different skills, you're able to tell stories really quickly and effectively and learn it possibly within a day if you want to. And I think that accessibility allows for anyone from any background to be able to be involved in broadcasting, especially on this production, because we're doing so many matches and the guys are really keen on bringing people through that really want to learn, that maybe don't have a broadcast background, maybe have a football background, or just don't know that this is something they can do. SimplyLive makes it accessible to people.
It just puts everything to your fingertips. It's so much easier to teach somebody when you can sit there, you can put a feed going and you can chop it through. The resources that you would need to do to train somebody up on a live gallery or an OB truck are just huge. Here I could walk in and we could get a hyperdeck going and we can be training someone in 10 minutes. And from there, by the afternoon, I could teach them how to do a replay. And then I could teach them how to cut the cameras. Within 48 hours, we could probably have them doing a game, even if I felt they were ready to do it. And you just wouldn't be able to do that anywhere else.
We're challenged by the EFL in terms of how far we push the technology, and I think we kind of challenge it. We're slaving 2 feeds out and allows us to put commercial inventory on 1 feed. We are delivering RTMPs out for betting partners, and we're delivering all of the angles of the games post-match for clubs, for broadcasters, for the PGMOL to review their refereeing. We're pulling 2-minute highlights out of it. Everything's still driven out of SimplyLive.
The great news that is recently there was an article in The Athletic where Sky had said that their viewership has gone up 33%. And I do think the SimplyLive operation has been key to that. Choosing Riedel again was a no-brainer. If anything, I felt the competitors had taken a step back, where I felt Riedel was still pushing boundaries.
I think it's fair to say that we love it, and lots of our directors and our replay operators love it, and yeah, here's to see what the next sort of 5 years produces.